Okay.
Okay. With that, you can come back to your little moment of doing nothing. Maybe notice your body is okay with doing nothing, or maybe you're like, no, I cannot do nothing. I have to do things.
Mm.
Yeah. For me, this doing nothing is the baseline for consent, meaning that if at any moment during the this call or all of the other kind of work I do, you can always just go to doing nothing. And yeah, you don't have to show up in any kind of way. And on top of that, you can, um, you know, follow some of my invitations or bring yourself in or do what's right for you with your voice, but for sure also with your body. So maybe notice right now, like I like the question, like, if your body was in charge, what would it have you do? If you don't filter it through the mind, but kind of be a little bit with the wisdom of your body. I see some people lying down, some stretching.
Mhm. Ah,
Mm. Just really allowing the little impulses happen.
Mm.
Ah, yeah, and notice, and also that's also an invitation throughout this call, if at any moment you just wanna, I don't know, stand up and move around or lie on the floor or yeah, there's no, need to be a good Zoom caller. Or actually, I think that makes you a good Zoom caller because it's also a little, permission. You give a little bit permission to others to do the same. And maybe you can even inspire some people on Berlin Hauptbahnhof. Spreading the work. Um, yeah, before I start, I would love to just hear maybe from everyone. It would just be nice to know who we're with. So you could just say your name and your pronouns and just a sound or one or two or three words of what you're with right now. Maybe it's something that you can voice by that you can let go a little bit by voicing it, or maybe it's something that you're just carrying that's nice, but just whatever you're with.
I'm Dharma, and my pronoun is he, they. Uh, I would say, ah.
Hmm,
Ooh,
thank you.
thank you.
Hmm.
I can
Yeah.
go. Oh.
Yeah, Joanna, go.
Yeah, Joanna. She, her for pronouns. And what am I with? I just had a really nice yogurt and I feel very pleased about that. It just felt really nice. So
Mm.
Great. Ah,
My name is Phoenix.
Yeah, okay, Phoenix.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry. They, them pronouns. I'm traveling. I'm a little tired, but I'm coming home, which feels really nice. So I'm excited about that. And I'm yawning a lot. that would be the sound, but I cannot do it on command. So
Mm. Oh,
So I'm Jole. I'm honestly only here to regulate my nervous system because I let Mette know beforehand that I don't feel like I have the capacity to participate in the workshop today. But Mette said I should come anyway for the first half an hour. So here I am, trying to regulate. And I guess so my pronouns are she, her, and my sound would be something like
thank you.
My name is Lente. I just come from work and I'm really tired and warm. So it's more like
I've been conditioned to then always copy the sound. We can do it. Shall we copy Lente's sound?
So I am Lani, she, her, and I'm struggling. It is my first day in corporate world after 3 weeks, and I cannot shift gear. Thank you for being here.
Sharing. You want to take a few eyes, Lani? See that we're with you.
I was doing
Great.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Lottie, pronouns she, her. And I think my sound would be like a cozy cat. I'm in the garden and my blanket, and I really enjoy it.
Mm. Shall we all do the cozy cat with Lottie? Mm.
Hi, I'm Chris. Still have no idea how to change my name here, but yeah, I'm Chris. And somehow I feel a little bit not comfortable with small picture of me because I'm so far, but I don't want to move to get my phone closer right now. Yeah, and I feel like somewhere in part of my head I'm still kind of fighting or looking for looking for the ways to change the situation where I cut my hair finally and really don't like it. Yeah, and trying to arrive finally here. So right now my sound is something like
Shall we do the all together? I think we have Tillman and Michael left, but if you want to skip, you can also skip it. Huh? It's not mandatory.
no, I can tell something.
I'm Michael, or yeah, pronouns he or all also pronouns. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired, still after sleeping. Genau. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My name is Tillman. I use he pronouns, and I had a lot of time in front of the screen today. So I was like, yeah, maybe I go in the garden. for this call. Yeah, but maybe I have to swap later on to go inside again. Yeah, and yeah, I have a bit of a headache because I'm in a transition time, I guess, organizing my life, finding a new job, and so on. And it's a bit exhausting sometimes, and sometimes gives me energy, and then it's exhausting again. Swaps. And the sound, I don't know. Difficult to give it a sound right now. I don't have a sound.
Okay, thank you. I invite you, if you want, and if you don't want, you don't have to, but to take 3 deep breaths with me. And it's really nice to also have the microphone on with this, because what it does kind of physiologically is that it aligns our nervous systems a bit with each other. Because the invitation is to breathe in through your nose and then breathe out through your mouth, and let any kind of natural sound come out. Now, sometimes Zoom kind of filters that away, but if it lets it through, then we kind of get a body read on where we are nervous system wise. So if you want to join that, then first breathe out wherever you are, and then breathe in through your nose, and then out with sound through the mouth. Then do that again, breathe in. And one more time. There's always a lot of information in these sounds, in hearing our own and in hearing each other's. And then the interesting thing is when we do it again, by the end of the call, the sounds will be very, very different. If I did a good job, if we did a good job. I would like to, because of course Zoom calls are not fun, right? But there are ways to kind of make them fun. I was doing an online program last year, and I was like, we were so bummed out. It's like, fuck, why can't we just touch each other and cuddle and just do things that we can do when we're in a room together? And then we started playing with different ways of doing so, and it turns out you can kind of have that effect during through Zoom in a slightly different way. So I would suggest that we start with that, a small kind of virtual touch co-regulation practice, a mouthful, which I will demonstrate with Joanna, and then you can decide if you want to do it. And if you do it, then I put you in a breakout room with someone, and you can spend a bit of time doing that. But I will first spotlight us. One moment. Does
Yes,
everybody
we're-
kind of see both of us now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You too, Carmen? On your... No, you're not. You might have
Fortunately
to,
not.
you might have to swipe to it. I emailed you the link, huh? But it might
I
be...
know it's blocked, I think, from something. But I see you're kind of fixed, but I don't see Joanna at the same time. But I can scroll.
Maybe you flip the phone.
Let me try that. Good point.
Hi.
Now I see you. No, that's okay.
Okay,
Well,
you just swipe back and forth.
Yes, thanks.
Okay, so the practice is very simple. It's called unwinding. And basically what you do is that from moment to moment, in this case, Joanna will feel into her body, and she's like, would I like to receive some touch right now? And maybe the answer is no, and then we just chill. And maybe she's like, oh yeah, there's some kind of touch that would be really nice to receive right now. And then she requests that. Then me, as the giver, I check if that's within my boundaries. Maybe it's something that I don't want to do for whatever reason. And if it is, then I would say, oh, this I cannot do for you right now, but could I do something else? And And if it is within my boundaries, I will do it, in this case, by mimicking it and by describing it with words. And then Joanna will do it to herself. And in the mind, this can become interestingly real in my experience. It's the kind of thing you have to try. Might be very skeptical, but if you try, you know if it works for you. So we just demonstrate it for like a minute or so, and then if you want, you can try. Maybe we start by just taking a breath, or I definitely need one. And then, Shauna, at your pace, you can do this.
Would you be happy to hold my hand?
Yeah, which one?
This one.
Okay. So I'm bringing my hand to yours. And then I'm just kind of gently holding it, or more firm.
Mm. Mm.
And she can take as much time like as she wants to see if there's a new request at all and when.
Do you think now you could maybe put your hand at the back of my neck and just keep it there, like really centered?
Yeah, totally. The same one? Like move this?
Oh, actually. Ooh, but then if I ask the other one, how do I put it on myself?
I don't know, with your knee maybe.
Yeah, that's fine. The other one, we go. The power
Okay,
up.
let's try. Okay, so I slowly bring my hand towards you. Place it on your neck. Mm.
Could I ask you for a hug now?
Mm. For demo purposes, I'm going to say, not right now. Is there something else I can do for you?
I'd like to stay like that then.
Okay, great. Okay, so maybe we leave it here for the demo. Thank you, Shauna.
You?
Okay, I just have to remove these things. Okay, so it's a very simple practice. From moment to moment, you check, is there something I want? You ask for it, the person says yes or no, and then you describe, they describe with words that they're doing it, and you do it to yourself. And I just want to point out that the one risk, or the risk, but the thing that is easily to fall into is when you're on the receiving side, that you start to entertain your giver. You know, if you wait too long, you think, oh, they must be getting bored now, or that sort of thing. So really, the invitation is when it's your time, use it how you want. If you want to sit there and not make any requests, that's totally fine. It's really the gift is for you, and then you switch roles, and then you serve the other person. Is there anyone who would not want to join?
I wonder, yeah, I am from LS team, if it needs to be touch base, because I think that I would love to maybe hear a story or humming or something around my ears.
Yeah, great. Yes, amazing. Yeah, that's what these practices. We often also in the explanation default to touch, but if there's something else, yeah, go with something else. Totally. And also, if you're in your breakout room and you know what, I would like to do something entirely different with my 3 minutes. I just need to complain about my day. You know, it's you know, it's your 3 minutes. So you can just ask for consent and then do that. Is there anyone who would not want to be in?
Yeah, it's not at the moment not right.
Yeah, great.
I had this practice in person with another person. It was quite beautiful, but for now,
Yeah,
doesn't feel
brilliant.
Mm.
That's totally great. I will just quickly create the breakout rooms. Yes, I got it right. And then I just add the timer. I'll give you like I'll give you like 9 minutes. So that gives you like 3 minutes to do it per person and a little bit of time before, in between, and after. Yeah.
Will there be a timer on the Zoom, or are we meant to time it?
No, there'll be a timer for the 9 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
But you have to kind of,
Okay.
I would say the person who is giving the touch keeps an eye on the 3 minutes so that the person who's receiving the touch doesn't have to worry about that. Yeah. Okay, it's starting now. Tillman, I think you have to click some. Yeah. Then I'll just pause the record.
Those 9 minutes were very fast. The fastest 9 minutes of my life.
In a good way?
Yeah, it just surprised me how busy can you be with these kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think this is the kind of practice that on the one hand, it's super nice to, do it 3 times as long. But then I'm also always surprised how big the effect is actually of doing it just for a few minutes. It can already. How did you experience it, Lani?
Big. Well, it was very deep and big, and I didn't know that I needed it, but I really needed it. So I'm very thankful.
Felix, I
wow.
think we all hear the announcements of the Hauptmann office entering
Yeah.
the serenity,
So I want
serenity
to
of the praxis.
travel.
Did anybody want to say a few words about how that was?
I completely lost time, so I was just like, "What the fuck? Why are we back in a big circle?"
Oh no.
I'm sorry for making it so short.
No, it's really surprising how much you feel the connection. I find it beautiful, wonderful.
Yeah. I sometimes think it's like the wholesome version of phone sex,
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe too soon.
No, it makes sense. Flashbacks.
Was there any one for who it didn't work? It's also interesting to hear.
In like the giving side, I was just really confused about left and right because it's just the other way around if you look at it. So I thought, oh, it needs to look real, so I do my left hand when the other person said right hand. So that was the only like weird thing about it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually had the same thing in the demo. Yeah.
I think the only thing that I found was that there were things that you can't imitate in yourself, like you can't necessarily do the way you would be done. So then it's like But if you stop thinking about that and actually just allow yourself to receive it, it's honestly so powerful. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's actually, oh, sorry, yeah, go.
Not that I really like that at some point it was like you can do, but when you get to describe how it feels, like I could feel it, I could feel the touch and how I was moving slow or fast, and that it helped me a lot.
Mm. Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
actually, it was also interesting to notice that when I was keeping an eye what exactly my partner does to me, yeah, how and really connected to the speed of my partner. And then it was really, really like not my hand. And more than that, one small thing which I noticed that when my partner made a hand, like it was little bit more tense, that my hand was naturally relaxed. Yeah, and I felt it's really like not my touch, because my hand immediately got the same, like trying to imitate exactly that. And that was also so beautiful, like to see that I'm literally catching and taking the not my own touch, but the touch of my partner, and that was amazing.
Mm. Nice. All right. Yeah, and I think this is such a nice practice to kind of implement sometimes in life, you know, if there's like, oh, we're stressed and we have to leave in 10 minutes and then scroll 5 minutes on your phone. But actually to do a few minutes of this can make such a difference. And also this is a really great practice also to do by yourself. To just spend a few minutes with yourself, just noticing, which touch would help me right now, and then just to give it and feel the impact, and then take it from there, step by step. This is a great thing. All right. So we're going to switch a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I mean with cultivating humanity and why, you know, where this program was born from. And then I would love to hear your voices about that. And then we'll see how much time we have left and what we want to do with that time. We could do another practice. We could do a Q&A. We could do something with our bodies. Yeah, whatever is needed. So Yula, you said you only wanted to join for the opening bit, so maybe this is your moment to
Yeah.
jump out.
Yeah, I would say goodbye for now, but I really enjoyed spending this half an hour with you, or almost an hour. Thank you. And
Yeah.
have
Thank
a great
you.
time, you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so this call, I was like, okay, what are we gonna talk about? And the topic that I landed on that I wanted to start it with is what I called like these 3 levels of humanity. And humanity, I just mean it's a very big word that can have all sorts of meanings, but to me it means just experiencing your humanness. You know, the things that make us human. And the kind of first level at which you can experience that, I think, is kind of just the individual level. Just so, for example, in the start of this call, when I said, oh, just take a moment to do nothing and just allow yourself to be, and just, you know, maybe you notice that in that moment you come a little bit more into connection with yourself. Then the other moment, the other kind of level in which we can experience it is like relationally, right? So like we just did, you know, you spent a few minutes with a person that you probably didn't know beforehand. And in that, you get to experience yourself and each other. And it, has meaning, I think. And then there's kind of experiencing, there's like the kind of societal level, like on a global or on a country level, or how do we as a species, how do we I don't know, how do we interact with this planet? How do we interact with the environment? How do we look after, you know, different groups in society, etc. And I think all of these are very connected, you know. If I look at the state of the world right now and world leaders doing all sorts of stuff that makes me feel very, very sad. And then I imagine, what if they would do something like we just did, you know? If they're in, I don't know, negotiations or meetings and talking about climate and war and all that sort of stuff. And what if they would actually know how to, you know, access them?
Yeah.
These immaterial things that make life so valuable. Yeah, and then what I really care for is like, okay, how can I do my bit of helping to spread this in the world, right? And I do maybe like workshops about this and retreats about this, etc. And then what sometimes happen is that, of course, people come and it supports them while they are there, or it supports them while they're out there, and maybe they make, well, usually they make some changes in their life, but then how does it go further from there? You know, sometimes it can start to feel like, oh, there's my life within these kinds of spaces, and there's my life outside of it. And it can then have the effect that, oh, maybe I start to feel actually more distant from spaces, from people who don't understand the way that I can relate within these spaces. Does that make sense? Does that?
Yeah.
That's me today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're a great example. It's sad, great example. Oh, yeah. And how does it feel? Which
It took me the
emotion?
full day to figure that I am sad.
Yeah.
I had a wheel of emotions, and then I saw sadness, and nah, yeah, it was sadness.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, and then for me, what I really deeply care for is like, okay, how can you then play a part in kind of inviting in more different contexts in your life the kind of reality that you wish to see for yourself, and that you wish to see in your relationships, and that you wish to see in the world. And not in a way where it's like, oh, I'm imposing this on people and I know what's best for everyone, and I will tell people that they need to feel their emotions and otherwise they're not, you know. But to be kind of a embodied invitation, and be met more often than you might if you wouldn't be, if that makes sense. And you know, is this interesting? I just want.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
If at any moment you get really bored or have a question, just interrupt me. You know, like personally, I have some friends, you know, that have known me for decades and that have seen me as a teenager and me in my 20s, and they see me now and they still sometimes look at it and they're like, what happened there? Because I was like terrible at feeling my emotions and expressing them and communicating and saying what I want. And I was really remarkably bad at that. And as a child, I was like very ADHD and I couldn't even sit still and make eye contact for a moment. So a lot has changed there. And part of it is because I spent a lot of time in these kinds of spaces. And part of it is because I like to take what I learn in these spaces and see how can I bring this into my life, you know? So I don't know. I remember for example, one time I had like a tantra teacher, and she was the one that I learned so much from, and you know, a lot of my life changed. And then one time I asked her, hey, can you give a workshop for my family? And I convinced my parents and my brother, and we spent like an afternoon with her, and she gave us like a solo workshop, and that was so cool.
Oh, wow.
That was with Chris, who some of you will know. And I don't know, and it started to dawn on me that there's so many things that we can do in these spaces, but actually often we can do them also outside these spaces. Not always, you know, there are of course different social contexts, and each of them can maybe stretch so far, but I've come to realize, at least in my life, that a lot more is possible than I thought. And yeah, like I said, of course, it's very different for everyone. But there are many things that we can learn and apply and try and make little changes in our life. And then if I think about, okay, what's needed to do that, you know? Then on the one hand, I think we need certain skills. So basically for me, the kind of facilitation skills that I use in my life, or in my workshops, let's say, I use them in my life as well. So a very simple example is that when I create a workshop or a little exercise that we do, I set an intention, for example, and then I check, hey, this is what I propose we do. Who wants to do that? Who doesn't want to do that? And then we do that. Now, this you can also have do this, for example, with conversations. Let's say with a family member. Like, let's say, oh, I always feel that I cannot talk about this kind of stuff with my parents, right? Might be true, might be an old story from the past. You know, sometimes we hold on to how things used to be, and we don't actually check if they're still true. So then very simply, you could check in with your parents and say, hey, I would love to talk with you about this and this sometimes. Would you be open to that? And maybe you get a yes, or maybe you get a no. But to consciously create like a little container in which something can happen, rather than to try to slip it in during dinner, but not actually being clear about it. And this is just one tiny example, but there's all these kinds of little skills that when you add them up, it changes how we relate, right? Then another thing is kind of courage, the courage to do so, right? Or maybe the inner safety to do so. So two concepts that I work with a lot are safety and permission. And safety is about, am I free to exist here? So yeah, can I be here? Before I do anything, is it okay that I'm here? And permission is a lot about how can I express myself? Can I talk about certain topics? Can I show certain emotions? Can I ask for what I want? Can I say no? How do I present my body? How do I move in my body? Do I lie down during a Zoom call or not? You know, in many Zoom calls, we will have some sort of inner story which says, oh no, you're not allowed to do that, right? Doesn't look good. And then both the safety and permission, they have like an inner and an outer component. So on the outside, there's a certain level of safety. So in certain places, certain people will be more safe, and other people might be less safe there. Perhaps based on your identity or the way you look, or your gender, or your skin color, or your sexual orientation, or your body ability, or your age, or you name it, right? And also within one person's life, you will be more safe in certain spaces than in other spaces, more welcome to be there, let's say. And then there's the the inner component of that, right? So the kind of external safety that you experience throughout your life, you internalize it. And that will make you feel more or less safe to be in your body. And also in different moments, you will feel more or less safe, which is then often reflected in nervous system states, right? So if I feel unsafe, I might get very activated, or if I feel unsafe, I might kind of shut down, or I might start to be a bit more pleasing, or, you know, there's all these nervous system responses in response to how safe we feel. And then there's permission, you know, it's like, for example, in this Zoom call, there's a lot of permission to make a sound. You know, if you feel a certain way, you like make a sound, and nobody makes a comment. Maybe let's all make a sound. Do that. Great, thank you. So spaces give different permissions for different things, right? And then there is of that, there's also the inner equivalent, right? How safe do I feel to do, or sorry, how much permission do I feel to express myself in certain ways? So I can tell you, you know, during this Zoom call, you can make a sound in any moment that you want, and it can be any sound. But your body might be like, hell no, you know, maybe you don't actually do it. But I would genuinely love this to happen during the whole call. But when I increase the outer permission, you will start to meet the limitations of your inner permission. You know, and it's
Great
and this is what. Sorry.
Great sentence, that.
Yeah, I'll say it again. So if you suddenly have a lot of outer permission, you will meet the edges of your inner permission. And this is where you can learn and grow and stretch your capacity. First of all, by learning to respond to your nervous system needs, that can have an incredible impact. Also by creating experience where you do something which feels a bit edgy, but you do it in a place where it's well received, and then it's a little imprint of like, I can do that. And after many imprints throughout your life of, I don't know, I should not sing in front of other people, and then you create some experiences where you do that, it's like, oh, actually I can, and people appreciated it. And slowly that starts to become more possible, right? And then slowly it can become possible in more different contexts. Maybe not yet with these people, but maybe around these people, I feel comfortable doing this. And then we can also start to become more aware of, hey, how does my environment affect me? We can start to take calculated risks. And we can also learn to shape the environment. For example, by making agreements or having like conversations on a meta level about, hey, how do we relate? How do we how do we relate? Like for me, a very simple example is that I had like someone who was living in like a shared house, and he realized, oh, I love to be naked in the garden, but I won't do that because, you know, it probably freaks out my flatmates. But then it's just very simple. You can just propose that, hey, shall we talk about how we feel about that? And does anyone have an objection with that? And everybody's like, no, fine. It's like, okay.
How real is reality?
How real is reality? Yeah. Yeah, and we can shape it. And again, not always, and not everything we try will work, but we can learn to do it, and eventually it becomes easier. Yeah, I want to wrap the talking bit up. But this is for me what this program is about. It's for people who wanna. It's like, oh, I'm not just wanting to come to spaces and enjoy them, but I'm wanting to maybe spread this permission and spread this safety again in my kind of corner of the world. And maybe I want to be a bit more intentional about how I bring some friends together. And maybe I want to, I don't know, bring more music into my life, and I want to start creating some spaces around that. Or maybe I want to have different conversations at work. Or, you know, whatever it is, it's like spreading humanity, you know, I'm spreading what makes life worthwhile for me, and I want to spread where in my life this exists, and in that maybe seduce some other people into also being more in touch with their own humanness. Okay, I need a breath. If you want to join me.
I can share a story if you want.
Yeah, wait, let's take one more breath and then each share.
Ooh la la.
I actually want to open a little forum where everyone can share. So do you want to share this in the forum, or do you free to share this now, Lani?
Oh, it can be in the forum.
Okay, cool. And also, hey, Yo-Yo, thank you for still joining. I know you were running late, but you're still very welcome. And if you want, you can have your mic on, unless they're screaming toddlers.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry I'm late, but happy I can still be here for the last hour.
You want to share in a few words your name and pronouns and what you feel in your body, or what's life with you now?
Sure. My name is Yo-Yo. I would like to use they, them pronouns. I feel heat in my cheeks and like a like a kind of full clenching that's now starting to ooze into the pillows behind me. Yes, it's quite a satisfied one. I'm late because I was hanging out with a 2-year-old, so that's always fun.
Yeah. Okay, in a moment, I want to do something to invite your voices, but I feel like there's been a lot of sitting and listening. So I would rather, for a few minutes, invite some movement or to do anything that you need for yourself right now. So I'll play a very gentle song. And then if you want, you can just take a few minutes to either do that practice we just did, but then with yourself, or just to move your body in any way that feels good. Or maybe if you just need a cup of tea, you get a cup of tea. But I'll take a few minutes for that. Is this volume okay? I cannot tell.
Nice, yeah.
Okay. Then we take maybe half a minute to a minute to come out of this practice. I could do this for ages, but Does anyone notice a shift in your nervous system?
Yes.
What do you notice, Carmen?
I feel a yum yum yum.
Nice. Yeah. It's interesting. Like when we do this, you see people start to yawn. Maybe you notice, for example, you're getting hungry. Does anybody notice, oh, I got a bit more hungry after doing that?
I would sure.
Yeah, that's like, it's interesting because when the nervous system is activated, like things like hunger or all these kind of things that are not of immediate importance, they get kind of suppressed. And then when you come back into a safe, same is with, like, for example, fertility or healing or a lot of important functions for the body, they get suppressed when we're in, for example, this kind of fight flight activated mode. And then you regulate yourself a bit and you're like, oh, I'm getting a bit sleepy, I'm getting a bit hungry, starting to smile a bit more, I feel like a bit playful. And that's like the nervous system coming into safety, which in itself is such a game changer to learn to recognize that and to learn to how to shift it. And it's actually not so difficult once you know.
I feel always a little resistance for this kind of, like, resistance for the safety. I think also in this moment now, I feel like, oh, I don't want to stand up or move my body. But once I'm doing it, it's nice. But there's this like moment of like, oh, I want to stay where I am. So this maybe small version of freeze. I don't know.
What kind of energy do you feel with that resistance?
And I think it is in more space in my life, resistance to safety, to regulation.
And do you think you resist like the safety itself, or is it like I have to keep going, or is it or is it a bit like no, I'm like a bit like bleh.
Yeah, this more the numb feeling.
Yeah.
Bleh. Yeah.
Can I
We
say
don't
something?
have to go into it, but it's just what I also noticed it in this small exercise. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Can I say something about it in general terms, not
Yeah,
just
sure.
to you, because it is very interesting. So that's like in nervous system terms, that's called a dorsal. So it's like I'm shutting down, right? So basically, when your nervous system is in unsafety, there's kind of three levels that it's going through. One is the kind of social. So like oh, I'm unsafe. I start to please people. I start to smile. I start to make a joke, or and then another approach is the kind of it's called the sympathetic. So it's like the fight or flight. So my body activates. I move towards a threat. I move away from it, but I'm using movement to get into safety. And the final step is like this. It's called dorsal, or it's also called collapse. And it's where the body's kind of giving up, and it's just like, okay, this is kind of preserving energy or preparing to die, kind of almost. It's like, no, nothing is gonna work anymore. And then what's very useful in that stage is to do something very small, like to stand up immediately and feel like too much. But if you would, for example, just move a little bit your fingers, or you move your toes, or you bring a very small movement into your body, or you look around the room a little bit. Maybe give yourself a little bit of touch. And then very slowly, you generally will notice that you get lifted slowly, slowly, slowly out of that. But forcing it into like, oh, I'm going to do all sorts of stuff is then too much. Yeah. Okay, let's take a breath. Mm. Everybody's like, ah. How are you doing?
You're sleepy.
You look very comfy. All right. So I made this evening a co-creation evening because I don't just want this to be like a one-way exchange, because also this program is very much about stepping into your creation power, right? Which means that it's also very interesting for me to know what do you associate with this topic? What comes alive for you when you think about your humanity or your authentic expression or whatever we want to call it? And also during like the program, there will be, it's not just, oh, I'm going to do a bunch of stuff and then the people who are in it do it, but it's like there'll be a lot of invitations to create stuff for each other, with each other, to create also even stuff for other people that will invite from the outside, to create stuff in your life, to maybe bring a few friends together one evening, and so on. So also for that reason, I would love to do a little forum now, which is a sharing structure, where I invite you to speak into, what is important for you when you think about accessing your humanity, or being an ambassador for humanity. Maybe it's a very big word, but it can be very small, in the context of your life, or maybe in the context of certain relationships, or maybe in the context of the world as a whole in these times of, polarization and war and climate change and all of it. So, but whatever speaks to you, and I would love to give us like a minute each to talk about that. And the structure that I propose for that is called forum, and it's like an embodied, it's a slightly more embodied way of speaking, and a bit of a more connected way of speaking also. So what it looks like is that I will demonstrate it in a moment, but when it's your turn, you stand up, so you don't, it might not be possible for everyone, but if it's possible, I deeply invite you to stand up and position your camera in a way that we can see your whole body. Then you say, may I have your attention, please? And then some of us will say yes. You don't have to fake that, but if you have a genuine yes, then you can say yes. Then you just look at your screen for a moment and you make some eye contact with the people on the screen. So you really presence yourself in this moment, in connection to this group. And then you speak while moving your body. So you speak with your words, but you also speak with your body language. And maybe it's very slow, and maybe it's very, but you stay moving on your feet and you stay moving your body so that we can really feel you on different levels. Let's take a breath. And of course, there's no, like, there's a big invitation for you to speak, but if for whatever reason you feel like, oh, I actually don't want to do this, then that's totally fine, right? So there's never any pressure. I will go first to demonstrate it, but I just wonder if is this clear? Are there any questions, clarification questions?
Like, is there a question connected to the 1 minute?
Yes. So the question is, something like, when I connect with, bringing more humanness, humanity, authenticity into my life or into this world, yeah, what comes alive for me around that topic? And there's really an invitation to let the words come in this very moment. So it may be very tempting to now sit here and prepare your speech, let's say, prepare a speech. And that has two disadvantages. One is that you will miss out on the opportunity of actually using the group presence to see which words that brings out in you, and it will do that, generally speaking. So it might feel scary, but the effect of that is generally there. And even if there are no words, we can likely feel you in a different way. And the other downside of this is that we're not really present with the person who is speaking, but because we're all thinking about our own things, right? Which is a pity. Yeah. And what you can do is you can place your Zoom on multi-speaker mode. So if you're on a computer, then in the top right corner it says View. And then if you click multi-speaker, and then you will usually see the kind of person who's speaking, and then the others, you still see them. So it still feels like we're in a room together. Any more? Yeah, maybe for this, it's... Oh, no, let's keep the microphones on. Oh, no, because then it messes up the multi-speaker thing. Okay, so for this, let's maybe turn off the mics. And then may I have your attention, please? You can imagine the yeses. Or we can still say it. Reach people in some way.
But why do we turn the microphones off?
Because if this multi-speaker view is quite nice because we see the person who's speaking, but we can also see all the other people in the group. But then the moment you say a word, like you just did, you pop up into the top view.
Okay.
Yeah. Ella is messaging me that she's still listening in here, but cannot actively join the forum right now. All right. Let's take one deep breath together, and then I will open the forum by going first, so you have an imprint of what it looks like, and then in any order we can go. And like I said, you don't have to, but you're very welcome to. And let's take a breath. And I will start. I stand up. May I have your attention, please? I think if you say yes, I can still see. Yeah, that's nice. A bit of movement. Okay. So when I think about humanity, I'm like, what I feel in my body is almost like this pain. Like there's so much beauty possible in just so many immaterial ways in which we can feel each other through being present with touch, with it, through allowing emotions, through really daring to ask for what we want. There's all these kinds of things that we can do. And I'm like so frustrated almost that it's not that they don't teach this to us in school, and that so many people don't know this, and then all people end up doing is, including me for a large part of my life, is just spending money on useless shit. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can change that sound. I'll go for 10 more seconds. Spend money on useless shit. And then I think, oh, if only people would know what's possible without needing stuff and needing money and needing blah, then the world could be such more loving place. So that's what that looks like. Let me see if I can change that sound. All right, so whoever feels called to can go. So you stand up, may I have your attention, please? You take in some eyes, and then you go. And I know it's scary.
Okay, let's do the scary shit. May I have your attention, please? I position myself.
Yeah, take your time.
Alrighty. When I think about humanity, being human, humanness, that strongly resonates with the word kindness. Like, kindness is actually all we need towards ourselves, and then from a place of being kind to myself, I can be kind to others. And yeah, this huge balance fight between kindness and overstepping boundaries. And it's just sometimes so hard to be kind to others when they are in need, when I don't have enough kindness towards myself, and then struggle evolves and fights evolve, and that sucks. So I feel like if everyone would focus more on kindness, then humanity and humankind would be a happier place for everyone. And yeah. And I want to invite everyone to give yourself a big hug right now. Because you're a beautiful human being. Thank you.
Thank you, Lottie. Mm.
So that was Lottie, right?
We can hear you.
Okay. I don't know if this works actually, because I cannot really see, but I lost my glasses. All my glasses. So this is what you got. May I
Yeah,
have
this
your
works.
attention, please? Yay. I think that the world right now is unnecessarily rough. I think that I have the motivation and the desire to be in places when everyone is kind, gentle, soft, caring for each other. And in my current position, I feel even bad about not using what I have and meeting with other like-minded people to change the world. I don't intend to be the one that changes the full world, but I am sure that like we can change the world. I can change the world for 1 or 2 persons, and then this can expand, and then everyone can get access to that very soft, gentle way in which we can relearn how to connect with each other and make this a better, loving, beautiful place. That's what I would like.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. And you can take a moment to take in that you were seen in what you just shared. Mm. Maybe look at the screen. Mm. Yeah, great. Thank you. Mm.
I'm gonna stand up. What? And readjust. All right. May I have your attention, please? Oh. Oh. when I think about humanity and humanness and what that means in my life is not just my life. There's like this like big, yeah. My feet don't want to move. This wants to move. Like very grounded, and there's something that's really bigger than me. Yeah. It's like bigger than me, that is profoundly important, that is extremely simple and yet so rare and special. Happens when I move my feet. No, they want to stay on the floor. Like a deep, deep listening to each other with all of this, with all of the stuff, and acknowledging that it's.
You don't have to stop the moment the beep goes if you go.
I'm done.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Mm. Thank you.
Mm.
I'm not sure if it's gonna work with standing up because I have my headphones with cable, which is not that long, sadly, but do my best. Can I have your attention, please?
Mm.
So When I think about humanity, I feel it like actually a superpower and like a big, big valuable thing. How Mette told today, like small moments which make life to be valuable. And when I'm thinking of that, I also remember that in my hardest times, the only thing which keeps me alive, it's that I have my body, that I still can feel no matter what. I can feel and I can share and I can cry and I can sound and I can, and it just grows. And then people who are next to me in that moment, they all also feel alive. And this is fucking superpower. And that's why I want to cultivate it, because in darkest time, you just feel good and alive.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, I also want to try. So may I have your attention, please? Thank you. Okay, so let's see what comes in my mind when I think about humanity, cultivating humanity. Ah. Ah. Whew. So weird to be here with you and not hearing you. Feel a bit isolated, but I can see you, and that's very nice. And I feel my blood in my head. It comes back up. And I feel kind of blank. Don't know what to say. Didn't prepare. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's it.
Thank you. And if you can see us, then you can really take a moment to take in your eyes and see that we're with you.
May I have your attention, please? What happens when I think about humanity? I feel that I really go to my head. I think lately it's pain in the ass to feel human in this like bigger picture. So I feel like this kind of big pressing cloud. It's like getting super confused by being human and relating to these beings, to this species that fucked up a lot of things. And yeah, so I feel pressure here. But when I go a bit smaller, then I feel more here. Like to the human beings that I know, then I feel really soft actually, and the feeling of wanting to let go. Let me sink in this kind of softness.
Feel free if you need a bit more time to take it.
Want to take in your eyes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can go now. Don't really know if this is gonna work here. Wait, okay, hold on. This is maybe better.
Yeah, perfect.
Can I have your attention, please? I think when I think of the sensation of being human, I think recently I've had the luck to be in spaces where I can really connect with that and where I can really just look around and see people just expressing themselves and being themselves, and being able to bring that a bit more to me and to, I don't know, do weird things like move in weird ways and not be so worried about like, do I look weird? Am I weird? And I think for me now is this really strong desire to not only experience it, but to gently bring it into every relationship, every connection, and to create a sense of community and friendship with the people around me that feels more genuine and more real and more human. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
We cannot hear you. Mm-mm.
Who are we supposed to be hearing?
Phoenix.
Yeah, I think the microphone is not like active at all. Like we can't hear anything at all.
Maybe double muted.
Phoenix, were you trying to talk?
Yeah.
One thing you could do is try to rejoin the call. Or are you maybe, I sometimes am accidentally connected to my headphones and I record a 10-minute voice note.
You can also go to the like settings and see if you can see which microphone it's using. I don't know if that's too difficult.
Well, let's see if you can figure it out.
You can also do it without words, but still do the exercise.
Yeah. Do you want to do the non-verbal version? Or we just spend a minute? I love it. Hmm. Hmm. Thank you. Hmm. Is there anyone that still wants to go, or?
I would love to also share some. May I have your attention, please? Ha 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 ha. When I'm thinking of humanity, I think we have got it so serious. Most of the times when I'm thinking about humanity, I think we are like a microorganisms in a belly of the like a bigger organisms. Like we are bacterian in a like kind of shit. And it doesn't matter what we are doing, what we are thinking, what we are feeling. At the end, we are just getting out from the asshole of the whole like a universe. What we need is just more like a love, like joy, and just it's just enjoying some tiny spots that we have. Because, yeah, you're just so small and so big, 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 big universe.
Hmm.
And we need ah. Mm.
Hmm.
Ah.
Thank you. Hmm. Michael, do you feel you want to go, or do you prefer to skip? Michael, you didn't go yet, right? Did you? You don't have to, eh? If you can also just, this is one of these, are you gonna stretch your edge or not?
I can I can try it with my microphone. Yeah. Do you guys see me? Good. May I have your attention, please? Yeah. When I'm thinking about humanity, it's yeah, I see in the kindergarten where I work that parents have so much expectations, how they have to be already in this little child, and that they don't can be dirty, even the little child, or yeah, can cry as a boy. Yeah, and we grow up with these things instead of being free. And I wish that we could be more free and experience more laughter and all the feelings, and not only the expectations fulfilling, yeah, things to do. Yeah, and, yeah. We have the opportunity and safety to be themselves.
Hmm. I think that was everyone, right? Yes. Yeah. So we can close this forum by turning on our microphones again. if you want. Then we can take a breath together. And let's take 3 breaths together. Again, if you want. Breathing in through the nose. And out with a bit of sound. In through the nose. Feel free to also add movement to your sound. And in through the nose. One more time. Yeah, that's it. Maybe notice if your body is asking for anything. Stretching or some self-touching or All right, we're slowly getting to the. Oh wait, let me switch this view. Yeah, we're slowly getting to the end of this call. What will I say about it? Thank you, first of all, for bringing in all your voices. Like, I was sitting here with a very nice feeling in my body, hearing all your flavors, your stories, and your sounds, and also the silent sharing from Phoenix. I really enjoyed. Yeah, and this is also what we just did is one example of creating permission, right? Because it's quite vulnerable, I imagine. Or for me it is, and I think for most people it is, to just stand here and really be seen and then share from that moment and not prepare the perfect words. And it's one of these imprints, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I can just be here with whatever is real right now. I don't have to perform or perfect or, but just, and in that we actually then feel each other more, right? I think. And I also love that this, by hearing all your voices, suddenly the space is not so much about me anymore, right? Because in all these parts of the call where I'm guiding something or I'm sharing my ideas, then it's very much, oh, everybody's listening to Mette, but we can also really co-create these experiences where, you know, I listen to all of you and I feel inspired and I'm like, wow, yes, you know, we share, we're all unique and we're all different and we all put different words on it, but there seems to be something underneath all this that connects us. And that wisdom is just there in everyone. And I love how that comes out in something like this. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what do I want to close with? Yeah, I just want to say that this is one of, you know, endless things that we can do in this kind of container and that we might do in this kind of program. Probably forum is something that we'll come back to quite often because it gives such a good read of where are we at as a group and what is needed right now. Like if you do this sort of thing during a day that we're spending together, then after that, all of us will have a sense of, oh, maybe we need to do something like this after this. Like maybe we need to dance, or maybe we need to be in silence, or maybe we need to, that wisdom then emerges from the group rather than some kind of agenda being imposed on it. And then we can all kind of step up and co-create the container together. And these weekends will be very much about this. And they will also be very much about being open to all sorts of ways of relating. Like I would love to have, for example, music in there. And because I think music is such a profound way of experiencing our humanity that transcends cultures, and it can transcend conflicts and differences of opinion. And through music, we can all come together. And on the other side is silence, which can also bring so much vulnerability. And I don't know, there's touch, and there is sharing our stories, and there is being aware of identity and social justice, and you know, the systemic power systems. And you know, we can do this in so many ways. And I think, and I love that we now had this first call, and it's like, oh, we're starting to come together as humans. And then I imagine that we figure out along the way, like, oh, which directions are we drawn into? And that's the beauty of being like 6 months together with a small group that's big enough to have diversity and small enough to have connection. And there can be so much experiential learning in that. And then to use the time in between the weekends to start experimenting in your life, you know, by yourself or together with others from the container. So I'm happy to spend some time with you, and it's starting to feel real.
Woo!
Thank you for that. And maybe we have a few minutes left, or maybe there's a few people that want to share something that feels alive in you now. You want to check out with, or I don't think we can do this all, but it would be nice to hear a few checkouts that are not me. You can have one or two more.
I will just reflect on what Carmen told right now, because it just resonates me a lot. And somehow immediately came this feeling that to be kind to other person or other people, it is to be kind to yourself. Because when I'm kind, I'm creating the kind environment for my own life. And this is something how we can affect the world around us, and to create our, like, at least I can create my life to be more kind to me as well. And that's so beautifully such a beautiful connection when you understand that other people, it's you as well. Yeah. Thank you for the circle today, and for this warmness here, and for reality, for real moments. Thank you.
Thank you. One more voice.
What I'm with right now is like it's kind of like a sadness, or like a grief, and also like this huge relief at the same time. I realized that it's very important for me to go at the pace I go at, with accepting my own humanity and dedicating time and attention to the things I care about and that matter. And it's often much slower than the pace of society, let's say. I'm sometimes afraid of the slowness of that. In comparison order. And now what I'm sort of saying to myself, and which is really giving me some release in my body, is like, I want to give myself more reminders more often in my life, in the places I spend time, of that slowness, which is so important to me. And like I find it now, and I feel this kind of very clear, sort of determined, like yes, like this, like there's no way I'm not gonna do this, you know. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. The cup is a bit more full, quite a bit more full than it was before this call. Yeah, I wish you a good night.
Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Right. Ciao.
Bye.